Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I decided to film a full face of drugstore products, so if you guys want to see how I achieved this look, please keep watching. I already did my eyebrows off camera just to save some time. I used this NYX eyebrow powder pencil, this L'Oreal Brow Sculptor Stylist. My eyebrows were so messed up and these guys are so pigmented, but they are very waxy, so just keep that in mind. Now I'm just going to use this concealer to set down a base for my eyeshadow. And I'm putting on a generous amount of concealer just because this product is kind of a light coverage. I'm going to use the small Real Technique sponge to blend it out. Then I'm going to be taking my Airspun Loose Face Powder, and this powder is about $6 and a lot of people recommend it. I'm also going to be taking this Real Techniques brush that I got in a set, and I'm just tapping off the excess powder and using it to set my eyes. Now I'm going to be introducing the Love Contours All palette from NYX, and the reason that it took me so long to film like a drugstore everything tutorial is I didn't have this palette. So before that I didn't have any drugstore eyeshadows really, and I didn't have any drugstore like contour shades either. Picking up on the first shade right here, it's the lightest shade in the palette. I'm going to take this Real Techniques brush, and this is the brush that I used to set my eyeshadow with the Airspun powder, but I'm going to use it again to just put this lightest eyeshadow all over the eye. Just, you know, give the eye a really good base, and the lighter the base, the more you can kind of see the colors. Okay, so now that I have that light shade all over my lid, and I'm going to be using this BH Cosmetics brush. BH is also an affordable drugstore brand. I mean, it's not drugstore, but it's drugstore prices. I got these at Urban Outfitters, but you can order these online. It's kind of up to you. I'm going to mix this mauve shade right here with possibly this other brown. So the next shade I'm going to be picking up on is this red shade right here. I'm going to use this other BH brush, and I'm kind of going to build it in here. I'm not trying to make this eyeshadow look too dark. It is 8:30 in the morning, and now I'm just going to be picking up on this peach shade in the middle. I think I'm just going to use this pink shade right here, this highlight shade. I'm going to wet the brush with my Mario Badescu, which is $7. You can get it at Ulta. I'm not really trying to make it look too pigmented. I'm just trying to add some light to the eye. I'm not really trying to be too precise or anything about it. Just making sure that it doesn't get on the crease, obviously. Now that I have that highlight shade all over my eyelids, I'm going to be using this eyeliner from Jessie's Girl. This is also a drugstore liner. It's honestly really good. The only issue is that I was only able to find it at Rite Aid when I was in LA, and I should have gotten like 3 more of these because this is actually amazing, and it was like only $7. The tip is like this and everything. It's really good. I'm just gonna go ahead and do my liner off camera. I applied some lashes. These lashes are from Walmart. This is what they look like. This big pack of lashes for like $8, so I definitely recommend them, and they're very wispy. And this is my 3rd time using them this week, so as long as you take care of your lashes, like you can reuse them as much as you want before they get pretty crappy. I'm gonna prime my face with this e.l.f. Mineral Infused Primer. Typically, I know that a lot of people like the Nivea Men Post Shave Balm. That's also a really good drugstore alternative, but the reason that I'm not using that one is because I've heard in many reviews that it isn't the best barrier-wise between your skin and your foundation and everything you're about to put on. It's more of a very tacky primer, so that's why a lot of people tend to like it. Next thing I'm gonna do, grab my Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation, and this is in the shade 4 Medium Beige, and I'm also gonna mix it with my L'Oreal Pro Matte Infallible foundation, and this is in the shade 107 Fresh Beige. And the reason that I'm mixing these two is because this one is tanner and I want it to match my tan. This one is so full coverage and this one is like medium coverage. I might also add some of these oil drops from Physicians Formula, which is also Drugstore, just to sheer out the foundation a little bit. So I just mix all my foundations and I did add the tiniest drop of oil, I think flow, because the Milani full coverage foundation is so thick. So now I'm just going to use this to dot it all over my face. It pretty much is the perfect match that I was going for. Now I'm just going to be taking my Real Techniques Beauty Blender. Everybody says it's so amazing and that it's such a good dupe for the Beauty Blender, but I personally don't think so. I do recommend this sponge to people who are just starting off with makeup and don't want to spend $20 on a beauty blender. That is a lot. I honestly just live by my beauty blender. I definitely think it's worth it. I don't think that it uses up all the product that this uses. I think that the beauty does a great job at evenly distributing everything. Yeah, but this one isn't bad. It's just not as good as the beauty blender in my opinion. Moving on to concealer. Now I'm going to be taking my NYX HD concealer again. I'm just going to use that to highlight the face and, you know, conceal. I really love this concealer. I think it's such a good concealer to highlight with. Even when I'm using like normal or like my usual makeup like high-end routine, I still pick up this one just because I love how lightweight it is, but also how good of a coverage it gives. I'm gonna spray my face a little bit just to rehydrate it because, I don't know, it's feeling a little dry. I'm gonna start blending this out. I'm gonna use the Airspun loose powder and I'm just gonna bake under my eyes a little bit. I mean, not necessarily like bake, but I'm just gonna set that area. Make sure to get the sides of my nose. Set this area very well because I don't like all of the coverage that I just put right there to move because I do have a lot of pimples and breakouts right there. Probably isn't healthy to pack it on as much as I do right there. You gotta do what you gotta do for coverage. Dust all of it off before it gets too crazy. So I'm just gonna use this other Real Techniques brush and I'm gonna let it bake a little bit around here, my nose area. I contour my nose a lot and I don't like it to look muddy. It's really gonna press that in and let it sit. So now that my face is pretty much set, go back into that NYX Love Contours All palette and I'm gonna start warming up my face with the lighter contour shade. I'm using another BH brush. I honestly really liked these bronzers so much. They had just really nice undertones. So yeah, I'm just gonna bring this all over where I usually bronze up my face and then I'm gonna contour. I'm just gonna use this other BH brush and I'm gonna take the darker shade and contour with it. Be very light with it because this is very pigmented. And I'm just gonna sculpt my cheeks out like so. Now that I have that line there, I kind of just use the same brush to really diffuse it. I will be using the lighter shade though to contour my nose. So I'm gonna take this brush right here. I'm just gonna sculpt out and, you know, just bring back the dimension into my nose just because it gets very flat. Okay, so now that I brought some dimension back to my face, I'm gonna pick up on this sponge again, dip it into the Airspun loose powder and just clean everything up. Probably just around here, around my nose a little bit too. Now I'm kind of just gonna dust off this excess right here so it doesn't get too chalky. So moving on to blush, using this NYX Wanderlust blush. It's really nice. Typically I would say the Milani Luminoso because everybody swears by it, but I just forgot it at home. We're just gonna dip into this one. I actually like this one a little more because it tends to give a rosier and more like, I don't know, like more awake effect for me. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this brush, the same transition shade that we used. I'm just gonna run it under So I'm going to dip back into that maroon red shade right here. And I'm using this pointy brush that I was using earlier. And I'm just going to run it in the corners of the eye. I'm just going to use the highlight shade that is in this palette right here. It's this golden one. And I'm going to use my highlighting brush from Real Technique. And look at that glow, wow. So this palette is pretty awesome because it does have a lot of neutral colors for like very everyday eyeshadow looks. Just fun, but it also has a lot of intense colors. So if you do want to make it more of a dramatic built-up nighttime look, you can also do that. Alright you guys, this is the finished look. I hope you guys found this video helpful. I know that a lot of you come to me with questions about what should I get at the drugstore. There are a lot of products that I enjoy, foundations that I recommend. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!